To extra depth, Texas and New Mexico are both home to the worst drivers in the entire country.
What a shame. What a shame. That is
Congratulations.
I guess. Well, that's according to a new report by Forbes Advisor. And ABC7's Rosemary Montañez spoke to drivers and experts about the new ranking. Rosemary used to drive back and forth to Texas and New Mexico.
Oh, yeah. A lot of really bad drivers in between. But let me tell you.
Rosemary, the best part about this is we're not just the worst. We're like perfectly the worst.
Perfectly the worst. Number one, in fact, that's all according to Forbes, who say Texas is number one. New Mexico comes in sixth place. And I talked to a lot of El Pasoans today who say they are not surprised.
I've seen a lot of bad drivers out there, more so recently.
It get progressively the past decade. I've seen it kind of get worse and worse, more wrecks.
Some El Pasoans were quick to react after learning Texas is home to the worst drivers in the country. Texas received a whopping score of 100 out of 100, and New Mexico got a 78. I asked El Pasoans what type of reckless driving they see the most on the streets.
Well, lately, several times, people running red lights have just, I've almost been hit a couple times just in the last few months. People just run lights. They actually speed up to go through them.
I've experienced some friends of mine that actually have crashed because they were drunk.
This man says he was born in Dallas, but now lives in El Paso. He says drivers aren't as reckless here.
Honestly, I think it's a little bit better here, to be honest with you. I see a lot of people going the speed limit.
According to Forbes, Texas has the 9th highest number of deadly car crashes involving a distracted driver. Owner of A to B driving school, Lisa Brown, says distractions are everywhere.
Well, number one is using your phone, even just looking at your phone. If you're looking at your phone even 6 seconds, taking your eyes off the road, going 60 miles an hour, you've driven the length of a whole football field without looking at the road. And people don't realize how far you go with just a few seconds of distractions. It can change everything.
Brown says she constantly reminds her students about the dangers of bad or distracted driving. And Steve Fisher, an El Paso attorney, knows distractions are the difference between life and death. He says 30% of the El Paso population lacks proper documentation to be behind the wheel.
DWIs do not kill as many people as just these poor drivers or distracted drivers. It's not even close. And so many of them don't have a license.
And Brown went on to say that she wants to remind you at home to be vigilant of the cars next to you and always drive defensively because it could save your life. Now, Stephanie and Eric, I actually talked to one El Pasoan who says he tries to get home before 10 o'clock each night to avoid those bad drivers. I don't know if that works, but hopefully that works.
It's around the clock.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, as long as he's not speeding to get home, because that would make him part of the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially here in El Paso with so many speeding drivers.
It does also speak. I mean, I know, of course, we're on the border too, so you have uninsured drivers, but it does in part speak to why we also pay more for car insurance than a lot of other places in the country.
Yeah, that adds up.
Let's not get 100% on this one all.
Oh,
let's do better.
A 0 out of 100 would have been great on this score.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Rosemary.